They may look like your average domestic feline on the surface, but a closer look will reveal some odd features. Thick fur, short stubby ears, and a rotund body give away that this particular Himalayan cat isn't your typical tabby. But there's something else. Maybe you can't quite put your finger on it, but they seem so expressive. Their relatable facial expressions have made them internet sensations, but there's a reason humans might look into these big yellow eyes and find them relatable. But what makes their faces so intriguing? Find out on Life, Death, and Taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's 30 minutes of interesting animal info for you. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
And today we're talking about a wide-eyed and expressive cat. But more on that later.
Yeah, this cat has many faces.
It does. If you look at pictures of it, it's adorable.
It really is. Sometimes it's a little intimidating, but mostly adorable. But we're talking about not just any cat. The Pallas's cat. Pallas's cat.
Unfortunately, the guy who discovered this was named Pallas, and it's his cat now, so...
Yeah, we're actually just talking about one particular cat named Pallas's.
Yeah.
And he likes to do faces. He's the Jim Carrey of cats.
Yeah.
No, we're just kidding. We're talking about an entire species of cat.
Uh-huh.
Which is also called the manul, or the manual, or the M-A-N-U-L. I'm going to call it manual because
he wrote the manual on being a cat?
Yeah. He was the first cat, and he's like, I got to tell other cats about this because this is great. I'm very good at this. But manual is actually the Kyrgyz word for cat.
Oh, so it's just called cat.
Yeah, it's just called cat in Kyrgyzstan.
Interesting.
And also in Mongolia, it's called cat. But I guess that's like the only house cattish thing native to that area. So it's also called the Pallas cat by itself, not Pallas's cat. But I think that's just from laziness.
From simplicity's sake.
Yeah. But what we're going to call it here is Mr. Whisples and O'Malley the owl cat.
Owl cat? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll explain that. It's not like this huge mystery, but I'll explain it in a bit. So now that we've gotten through the nicknames, let's talk about where this thing taxonomizes. Taxonomize me, Captain, says the cat. So the kingdom, you know it, you love it, you're in it. It's kingdom Animalia. The phylum is Chordata. Class, Mammalia. You guessed it. We should all be getting good at this, I think. The order, also, we should know, Carnivora, because I guess, like we say, carnivores can only be males, according to taxonomy. The suborder is Feliforma, which means it looks like a cat.
It's got form of a cat.
Form of cat. The family is Felidae. I spelled that wrong.
Jimmy Felidae?
Yeah. And the subfamily is Feline with an N instead of a D. So they just decided to be real nuanced about that and also not put in any effort whatsoever. The genus, now here's a mouthful, Autocolobus. Yeah, it sounds like a supervillain. The great Emperor Autocolobus. And then the species is Manual. So Autocolobus manual. Or manual.
It sounds like some harebrained infernal machine. Get the Autocolobus manual. Gotta figure this thing out. I can hear it. Right. It's on, but it's not working. I don't get it.
It's not connecting to the Wi-Fi. Can somebody please get the Autocolobus manual?
Do you have a quiz show for me?
I do. I'm so happy you asked. Because since we're in the business of naming things, it's time for just an amazing part of the show where I, I'm trying to think of a different one, but we're gonna go with this until I earn the right to have another to get a different one. So for this is the part of the show where I, Carlos, ask you, Joe, a question, and the question is the same every time, and that is, what is the name of the collective noun for this animal? It's time for critter groups, and I'll ask you the question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a cat, so we're gonna go with cats.
Yeah, I don't know if these guys are usually found in groups.
No, we'll get into that later. But if you did see a group of them, I don't know, like in a bag, so you could let the cat out of the bag, then what would you call it? Would you say that's a tapestry of cats? Is it B, a yowl of cats? Is it C, a scramble of cats? Or is it D, a pounce of cats?
Yowl. I'm going with that.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Incorrect. I was hoping that would trip you up. The answer is D, pounce.
Oh, okay.
So because the answer was pounce, I was like, I need to pick at least one more thing that a cat does.
Yowl. I was actually leaning towards also scramble. Because if there's ever a group of cats and you walk in, there's definitely some scrambling going on.
Yeah, they're gonna scramble out of there like cockroaches. And I was hoping the tapestry might
nope,
throw you off.
Not even a little enticing.
Darn it.
It's okay.
I gotta work on my creativity. I keep looking around my room for things to call it. Let's talk about where it lives. In
the
our
world.
Hearts.
Oh.
No. Well, both of those things are true. But it really lives in Central Asia. And specifically at really high elevations. So it's mainly found in the Tibetan Plateau, which is 16,000 feet above sea level and very, very cold. But it's also found in Iran, Afghanistan, Mongolia, and let's go through the stands: Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan. It's also found in India, Nepal, and like I said, Tibetan China. The specific biosphere or whatever that it lives in they're called steppes. Steppes. And they're
flat highlands.
Yeah, they're treeless grasslands without any rivers nearby.
Oh,
specifically. They're usually found pretty high up, but I don't think that's a requirement. I think the Great Plains count as steppes.
Interesting.
So, now that we know where it lives, what does it look like? Well, for the most part, these guys are slightly larger than normal house cats. They're about the same size, shape, and probably freak out if you place a cucumber behind them in secret. It would definitely be an abnormal house cat if you saw one inside someone's house.
Oh, for sure.
You'd be like,
what's wrong with that one?
This is my cat, Mr. Whisples. What is wrong with your cat? Why has it been stung by 100 bees?
Why is it so big? Or why is it so fluffy?
It's a chubster. I mean, at least it's fluffy and makes it look like a chubster. It has a round face and hair markings that make it look like it has a Santa beard.
It has a beard and lots of hair around the ears that are coming out. It definitely looks like a mad scientist.
It looks like this cat is to other cats as an owl is to other birds, I think.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. So the O'Malley the owl cat. So, because there's a picture I found on the internet of this cat sitting in I think it was in a cage in a zoo or something, and it was up in a tree and it was looking down, and I was like, that's a cat owl for sure. It has such a wide round face and a flat face too. It looks like it's cute but also ready to pounce.
As the group name suggests.
Yes, it's a pounce.
Well, it looks like a grumpy dust bunny. It's cute in that way.
Yeah, like a dust bunny. Like from the Big Comfy Couch?
Yes, it's those guys. But those were actual rabbit-looking things.
Yeah, they actually turned those into bunnies. But so the O'Malley's fur is a mix of gray and kind of like a light brownish rust. It has black spots on its head and black stripes on its cheeks. And it's, like I said, it has a Santa beard, so its beard is white. It is a intriguing looking animal for sure. It is slightly larger than the normal house cat. But does its fur just make it look bigger, or is it actually bigger?
Let's figure that out in a segment I like to call Measure Up. Welcome to Measure Up, the leading candidate for the best part of the show, a title to be officially determined by you on December 3rd on Twitter and Facebook. This is the part of the show when we present the animal's size and dimensions in relatable terms through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also the part of the show that's introduced by you when you send in audio of yourself singing, saying, or chittering the words Measure Up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We have no new intros this week.
No.
So that means I get to play an animal sound, and Carlos will guess what it is.
I'm telling you, people are doing this on purpose. They have brilliant measure ups to send in, but they're like, I want to hear more disgusting animal sounds.
Well, let's find out if this one's disgusting. Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show. Is that enough to go on?
Yes, dolphin, final answer. It's got to be a dolphin or some sort of cetacean.
I usually give you, like, when we first started this, I gave you multiple choice. And then we didn't do that.
Did you?
Would you like that?
Oh, should we do that again?
Would you like some multiple choice?
Sure. Yeah. Because that's so much easier than guessing out of the blue.
Okay.
Can you imagine if I did critter groups where I just asked you what, like, okay, what's the name of a bunch of cats? Make it up.
Well, those are just nonsense words half the time. So, is it A, a dolphin, B, an otter, C, a lemur, or D, a beetle?
Oh, it would be a beetle. Oh, okay. I'm going with beetle. I think that's it.
D, beetle, final answer?
Yes, sir.
The correct answer is a ring-tailed lemur. I knew that dark horse candidate would get you.
Because last time it was a really weird sound and it turned out to be like a grasshopper or something.
It was
like
a
that.
gecko.
Oh, yeah. Something that doesn't ever make sounds.
But this is a ring-tailed lemur.
It definitely sounded, and the background sounded like there was water. So it sounded like you were listening to a dolphin underwater.
There's a video of it that you can click on, a link to on ldtaxonomy.com on the page for this episode. But let's get into body length. They are 46 to 65 centimeters, or
In American, please.
18 to 26 inches.
There we go.
Let's call it 26 inches because that's a fun. I like going with the large numbers.
That is a fun.
How many Pallas' cats go into the height or the highest altitude in Kojir National Park in Iran, which is part of the Pallas' cats range?
The highest elevation there?
Yes.
Well, the Tibetan Plateau is 16,000 feet above sea level, but that's a really high place. So you might have to tone it down a couple thousand feet. Well, you're not going to interrupt me with a hint or something?
Would you like a hint?
No, I mean,
Well, here's a hint. The park has a number of unique specimens of flora, including the Persian pistachio tree and the wild almond.
that sounds delicious.
A wild almond, or just the whole
Kind of both.
the whole park full of nuts?
I mean, yeah, pistachios are so good, though.
Yeah, pistachios are good. Pistachio ice cream. Pistachio ice cream is the best kind of flavor I never get. Just because I always
think I've ever had it.
gravitate towards chocolate or something. Pistachio coffee is also good.
It just doesn't sound like something I would ever want to make ice cream out of. It's salty and delicious, but not ice cream.
But it's not salty if you don't put salt on it.
Yeah, I guess. But that's the best part. That's the best part of peanuts.
You just like salt.
It's the best part of cashews. All right. I'm going to say Man, I know next to nothing about Iran except for the name of its capital,
Which is?
and Tehran. Or I think I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. It's Tehran. Let's go with 11,000 feet. I know that's way wrong, but let's go with it.
So divide 11,000 by 26 inches.
Right, yeah. So 26 inches is
2 feet and
it's
change.
2 feet and change, yeah. Which means about 20 to compensate. We'll say that 2,600 of these go into a mile. Why am I doing miles? I'm already at feet. So we're just gonna do 6,000 Pallas's cat body lengths go into the max height of that one nutty park in Iran.
Your math was kind of close, but the correct answer is 3,323 cats.
Oh, so it's only like 6,000 feet high?
Yeah, the altitude is 7,200 feet. Yeah, 7,200. But not a bad attempt. Let's see if you get the weight. They're a little heftier and chonkier than a typical house cat. They can be between 2.5 to 4.5 kilograms or 5.5 to 9.9 pounds. They couldn't. The scientists that weighed it couldn't give it that extra, decimal, right?
Yeah, they put it on the scale.
It said 9.9. He's like, this is not a 10-pound cat. They can never be 10 pounds.
Exactly.
But let's go with.
They can never be 10 pounds.
Well, speaking of this cat, let's go with 9.9 pounds even. The world record for the most garlic cloves eaten in one sitting was achieved by Deepak Sharma Bajagain. Oh man, that can't be good. But
you nailed it.
Deepak is pretty close. In 2009 in Kathmandu, how many Kathmandu? It's in Nepal and it has cat in the name.
It's not Kathmandu. It's
Kathmandu, but everyone says Kathmandu. So,
do they? They don't.
Well, how do I know what a TH sound is in another language?
That's true. Okay, you got me there.
How many units of total weight of garlic that he ate go into the Pallas's cat?
Man, I feel like eating a lot of garlic would be really dangerous.
I have a pretty decent hint. Garlic cloves can range from 4 to 45 grams, but the average is around 16 grams per clove.
Can you imagine eating 1 clove of garlic?
Uh-huh. It's a lot.
I feel like my mouth would fall off.
I have done that before, like because
you have?
Yeah, not on purpose. Like garlic cloves can look like other things in dishes.
Like a full clove, though, or just one piece of one.
A clove is like a small thing in the center of a garlic.
I thought it was the full pod thing.
No.
Oh, okay.
16 grams is a typical one. Although I feel like that's a little bit large, but 10 to 16 grams.
I'm gonna say this guy ate 2 pounds worth of garlic.
Oh my gosh, how did he live?
So that's gonna be 4.5? Yep, 4.5. 4.5 of the 4.5 of the amount of garlic that was eaten by this
guy,
poor man,
Deepak.
And go into the weight of a Pallas's cat.
The correct answer is 7. He ate 34 cloves, which is like a little over 1 pound.
Did I do math really wrong just now?
Maybe. It's a 9-pound cat.
Oh wait, no, never mind. We're good. We're good. Never mind.
You had a lot of variables there. I was going by 16 grams.
You're going by cloves, you're going by grams, and I was going by pounds. The only time I'm right on is when the answer is 1.
Or yeah, where it's small. It's small. No, it's small numbers.
Small potatoes.
Like we considered it a victory when you got in the right
septillions.
Yeah.
for like a teaspoon's worth of a neutron star. It's ridiculous, astronomical.
Do you have any
Are we done?
fast facts? Yes.
Yes, let's talk about their behavior for a second. So they lead solitary
I
lives.
feel like we're in a parent-teacher conference with this cat.
Yeah. Listen, I called you here so that we can talk about this cat's behavior. He's very solitary, and he spends most of his time in caves, which really makes an impact on his ability to participate with the class.
You gotta go to class, Pallas's cat. You just spent all day in the caves.
But yeah, he spends time in caves and burrows, and he heads out to hunt in the evening. So O'Malley eats small mammals and birds, including marmots, gerbils, voles, partridges, and our very own taxonomy titan, the pika. But different kind of pika. We did the Alaskan collared pika, and this is a pika that lives in Central Asia, so we're good. That one doesn't matter. And so they're not very fast. Not pikas. Pikas are fast. But O'Malley is not very fast, so he usually needs to ambush his prey using his grayish coat as camouflage. Because everything is gray and bleak where he lives for some reason. He should go somewhere else.
He's too chonky to catch things that are quick. Unless he sneaks up on them.
This cat looks like a overgrown chubby kitten.
It is mostly fur. He's got thick fur. He's not actually it's not actually all fat.
But still, he is chonky, as you say. Pallas's cats have relatively large litters of kittens for cats in the wild. So they'll have sometimes up to 6 kittens in a litter, and biologists believe this is in order to compensate for the harsh environment that leads to high rates of infant mortality, because again, they live in a bleak and cold and treeless environment. They should just go down to the rainforest or something like that.
Well, they like it where they are.
No, they shouldn't. So I have 2 fast facts before we get into the major fact. They're often mistaken for marmots and are shot instead of those delightful little giant squirrels. Or they're trapped in wolf and fox traps. So they are on the near threatened list. And but they're also purposely trapped for their pelts, and it's illegal to hunt them in everywhere except for Mongolia. And the second fast fact is that they can live for up to 11 years in captivity, which is surprisingly a surprisingly short life for a cat. House cats can live to be like 25 years old. So,
that's because they get their shots.
That's true. No one's going up onto the Tibetan steppes to give these chubsters their shots.
Unless it's a shot of beef fat, right? Right, Pallas's cat?
Right. Am I right? But that's all I got.
Alrighty, let's get into the major fact. The Pallas's cat has a pair of eyes that are different from your cat at home. Instead of the characteristic slitted pupils, their pupils are round, kind of like ours. So these large, round eyes may be what people find so interesting about them. And they're like funny facial expressions, which are all over the internet, might be because of their, like, we find them relatable because they have very relatable eyes. And I've seen that, like, people sometimes mistake them for, like, primates because of their, like, when they look them in the eye. I don't know what situation this is, but I think they must be thinking of just pictures. If you look up, like, a picture of their eyes close up, maybe you think it's a primate.
Looks like a cat. It really looks like a cat.
But
nothing like a primate.
But even, like, other cats have round eyes, and we'll talk about that. Why do these cats deviate from the ocular norm? Pupils come in a variety of shapes in the animal kingdom. Goats have square pupils. Crocodiles have, like, jagged vertical slits. And cuttlefish have wavy pupils. In all of these cases, yeah, they are. And then there's other species with squares and wavies and different things. In all of these cases, the pupil functions just to allow light to enter the eyeball in order to help creatures see. Underwater animals most often don't have pupils that change in size because they have a mechanism further back in the eye to allow different amounts of light to come in and out, or just to come in. There's no light coming out. So irises can make the pupil larger and smaller depending on the amount of light around you. There is a lot of debate as to the advantage of different pupil shapes, but one thing seems clear: it's based on lifestyle more than taxonomy. So animals all over the kingdom...
So these cats, drink a lot, so now they have round pupils?
Drink a lot?
They make poor lifestyle decisions?
Yeah, sure. Lifestyle hacks. So animals all over the kingdom have split pupils, including reptiles, cats, canines, and even birds. And the same thing goes for round pupils. So why do cats have vertical slits by and large? Many of the animals with slit pupils are nocturnal and crepuscular. That means they're most active at night, or they're most active during dawn and dusk. They're mostly predators, which means they end up hunting in the light of dusk to the dark of night. So extremely variable light conditions need extremely variable eyes. One theory is that slit vision allows pupils to expand larger and shrink smaller than round pupils. So basically you're good to go in the daylight during dawn and dusk, and you're good to go in the middle of the night because your pupils can shrink and grow to extremes. However, weirdos like the tarsier, which are tiny primates, show that round pupils can shrink and grow to extremes, just like slit pupils.
Is that the one that has the pupils that are the same size as its iris? Like they could just grow to huge?
It's like huge, but then they can be like a pinpoint.
That's great. Yeah, that's crazy.
Plus, tarsiers are the only completely carnivorous primates. They eat lizards and bugs and stuff, and they don't eat fruits and leaves and vegetables like every other primate. So they fit in the slit pupil lifestyle according to these other animals. Another possibility is that the way slit eyes allow light to come in is they can see color in low light better than round pupils. So predators often rely on color to contrast prey with environment. So they need color even when they're like looking at things in low light. But if that's the case, why doesn't the tarsier or the Pallas cat need low light color? The tarsier has something that slit pupil animals don't have, and that is an arboreal lifestyle. Most slit pupil animals are small or low to the ground. House cats and foxes have slits, and they're ground hunters. Crocodiles hunt by peering over the surface of the water to the bank, to the banks of rivers. So there's a lot of vertical surface vision there. But then I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, but you said a bird has slit vision, and you're correct. But
you guessed exactly what I was thinking.
Were you actually thinking that?
Yeah.
But it's a specific type of bird, which is skimmers. Skimmers that fly along coastlines and waterways picking fish off the surface of water. So they're flying low, and their vision and hunting style is based on seeing things like very close to them on ground level.
I was just imagining just how freaky it would be to see a bird with slit pupils.
It's kind of hard to see because it's like all dark. Their eyes are all dark, but you can if you really look closely, you can see it, and it is kind of creepy. So
it just makes you look so alien.
It does, yeah.
That's why we relate to the Pallas.
That's what I'm saying. That's my thesis. It was in the intro. I mentioned that we relate to this animal for some reason, and that's why, I think.
So we're relating a relatable animal in relatable terms.
Exactly. So tarsiers hop from tree to tree, collecting bugs and lizards. So they need to see far, and it turns out that slit eyes aren't great for long vision. So cats with round pupils, including cheetahs and leopards, hunt by finding prey that's far off and either sneaking up or running them down like cheetahs do, so they need to be able to see far. Pallas cats are the same size as house cats, though, but they hunt on mountains and rocky terrain, so they're sometimes high up or they're sometimes above their prey before they, like when they spot it for the first time, but they end up getting low to the ground and creeping up using stealth. But they spend all their time hunting during the day. They're mostly diurnal cats. So that's one thing that's pretty interesting is like, why does this cat have different eyes than all the other cats? Well, all the other cats are nocturnal and this one isn't. All that to say
that is weird.
I mean, it's just
I
funny.
guess cheetahs are diurnal.
Oh, that's true. And they have round pupils.
Yeah,
leopards too.
That'll do, pig.
Leopards and jaguars also hunt during
but
the day.
those are nocturnal cats for sure.
But they also will hunt during the day, like leopards or jaguars hunting crocodiles and stuff.
Yeah, they're opportunists.
But all that to say that the Pallas's cat's unique environment and lifestyle has given us a unique little predator with an adorable face, and it's just a joy to Google. Just Google image search this cat.
Yeah, I ended up wasting about 10 minutes just going all the way to the bottom of the Google image search. And some of them have like cobalt blue eyes, and it's just they're just beautiful.
Really? I didn't see that. They're all just yellow to me that I saw.
That's why it was crazy. It may have been Photoshop, but the caption said like, "Oh, we had a litter of cobalt blue Pallas cats." I mean, the eyes were, not the cats. That would have been crazy. I love blue things.
It's interesting. It's interesting that like we're still not 100% sure why these different animals have different pupil shapes.
Yeah, there's a lot. I saw that the Pallas cat is under more intensive research by some university in Russia for its behavior and stuff like that.
Interesting. So it's an interesting little cat.
Maybe we'll be able to have a follow-up on the Pallas cat later on, or at least a follow-up about pupils. Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
Right. That was the Pallas's cat. So, for you out there in Podcastia, use your camouflage, ambush your prey, and climb every mountain like the Pallas's cat here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey LDT listeners, it's election time. The time of the year where you get to let your voice be heard through the power of voting. You get a say on the issues that really matter, like the part of your most beloved animal podcast that's considered the listener's favorite part of the show. On December 3rd, polls will open on Facebook and Twitter where you can find us under the name LD Taxonomy. Vote for Measure Up, or Critter Groups, and if you want, leave us a comment explaining your choice. Thanks for listening and engaging in the democratic process.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
That's fun. I like that.
Just yawn.
Yeah, I did yawn.